Sam takes Gilly home to meet the folks. Arya retrieves Needle, and let's face it, any speech given atop a dragon is going to impress people. It's Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 6, Blood of My Blood. Alright, spoilers ahead, just so you've been warned. And a happy Memorial Day to you all. I'm chilling at home today, so I'm going to be recording from here. And a little change of scenery for you. Alright, so we are going to start this week's review off with Sam Tarly bringing Gilly home to Hornhill. And it was just, I really love seeing these two together, and I hadn't realized how much I'd actually missed their interaction until this episode. It's been a little while. But it's really nice to sort of see their interplay, especially how much Gilly knows Sam. The little comment earlier in the episode when she states that, "You're a nervous talker, Sam. What's wrong?" I mean, really just the two of them together, they're a great couple, and this whole thing sort of reinforces it. And in a way, he does have a right to be nervous because Hornhill is huge. My God, that is a massive estate. And the look on Gilly's face as she looks out the window and steps out of the carriage, I think was perfectly appropriate, considering where she has came from and everything with Castle Black and Sam's whole persona. To see that he has come from such power and wealth is really kind of a shocking scene. And we get to meet Mom and Sis, who seem like very pleasant people, very caring. They've got their heart in with Sam, which is not what is to be said about Dad, who is a total douchebag. That has to be one of the most uncomfortable dinners I have seen in a long time. And I do have to admit that while Dad was dressing Sam down and really just, talking crap to him, I was waiting. Man, Gilly, speak up. Put this guy in his place. And she did. That was awesome. Just saying how brave Sam is. He's taken down Thunes. He took down a White Walker, and the guy's, there's no such thing. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, that whole speech did, of course, reveal that Gilly is a wilding and not just, as he said, a whore from Moletown. God, Dad, thanks a lot for that. And I think just really puts things out. Now, Sam is, of course, he is, his father said, he's been subjected to this. His whole statement early on saying that, well, Dad made me give up my title and my place and threatened to kill me if I didn't. That just sort of makes you feel a little unwelcome. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near Dad for any length of time, if at all possible. And so it was a great little interplay. Now, obviously, Sam was willing there for a moment when he gets basically tossed out on his ear, is willing to step away and make that sacrifice to hopefully give Gilly a safe place to live, and Sam education, a place to grow up. And that was a little heartbreaking for the full 5 seconds that he had left the room. And when he walks back in and just says, "We are together," definite cheer going up in my household for that. And I love how he took the sword, too. It should have been his. He should take it with him completely. And also because Valyrian steel is one of those other things that can kill White Walkers, if we remember back into our lore. So very appropriate that he has one. And now starting to keep track of where the Valyrian swords are. Brienne, Jaime, now we've got Sam. These are starting to spread around, and they're starting to get in the hands of people that I think could effectively use them in the coming war. So overall, just loved seeing those two together, and really glad that they got back together, and Sam is taking Gilly and little Sam with him as he goes and further trains to be a maester. And then we have the further adventures of Marjorie and the High Sparrow. And God, that scene with High Sparrow and Tommen. High Sparrow's just, the guy's nuts. You can see his whole plan is just, who can we find in power and dress down and just completely denigrate? That really seems to be his plan. Yes, he's given the speech that he is working for the gods, but I don't see that. I see that this is a man who is very self-serving. This is the belief that he has set himself to, and he is more than happy to tear down any institution, anyone around, in order to lift himself up and his position as the arbiter of the means of the gods. And I have to say, that little scene between Tommen and Margaery really got me confused. I mean, in a good way, in the sense that from last we saw Margaery, she seemed to really be playing the doublespeak very well. And this whole scene seems very interplayed in with doublespeak, but where she was going was really getting hard to tell. And I think Tommen's confusion was quite appropriate. Because last we saw Margaery when she was trying to get Loras in and had that whole presentation of, oh yes, I'm with the gods, and then really buckled down when she was close to him, saying, no, you've got to be strong, we got to fight through this. It was really hard to see which direction that she was going in. I mean, and that was interesting from an audience standpoint, is because when we know where people stand and then they start to go in different directions, especially while she is submitted to this world of the High Sparrow, on a constant, almost torturous basis, was really kind of hoping that she had some plan, that she was staving things off. But when Lord Tyrell and Jaime shows up, by the way, Lord Tyrell, quite poetic in his speech to his men. It was very interesting to hear. Fun, but odd. Obviously it seemed like a lord, a man of position and power, trying to be impressive for his men with these poetic speeches. I don't know, that's sort of how it came off. Maybe it's just because Jaime was staring at him like, all right, Lord Tyrell, let's go. But that whole scene up on the steps was really expecting, okay, Jaime coming up on his horse, bounding up the stairs. Just was beautiful, was impressive, was waiting for the High Sparrow to give in, and it seemed like he was going to. Till Tommen walked out. He's been turned, the king's been turned. And I gotta say, that blew me away. That bond between them, and just a little look from Jaime of like, don't do this. What are you doing? We have all of our men here and all of these people to save your queen and do this. But Tommen had made his decision, which, again, that's why that scene with Margaery beforehand was so confusing. I really thought that there was some sort of doublespeak going to get Tommen to delay, to hold things off. And there still might be something going on. I mean, there feels like there is some other level happening. But where things stand right now, High Sparrow is right there next to the king. It is the king, the sword and the faith are the two pillars of society. So now they're bound together, and the first thing he does is fire Jaime. Fire Jaime and send him off to help Walder Frey, the disgusting old man from the Red Wedding, to go and take back River Run from Blackfish. And remember, Blackfish is the Tully who is Catelyn's family, so this is Sansa's uncle, who she had sent Brienne down from last episode. So what we're getting up here is, one, we're getting Jaime out of King's Landing, and we're putting him in a tough situation in this walled siege against River Run, but mainly we're looking at a point where this is where Brienne is going to come down on Blackfish's side, and we've got Jaime coming up on Walder Frey's side. So now we are going to see a potential scene or potential instance where we actually have Brienne and Jaime back fighting against each other. And I really like the bond that the two of them had. I don't want to see this. I'm hoping things will go in a different direction, but from what it stands right now, we got two big characters going to be standing on opposite ends of the battlefield. And that is something that's going to be interesting to see as it comes forward. And of course, there is Arya, ready to do her mission for the House of Black and White. And I gotta say, I think that Arya really enjoys seeing these parts of the play where Joffrey is poisoned and dies. She's the one laughing in the audience, and having to see this a few times to set up her assassination gig. I really think that's part of the story that she is enjoying. But obviously not necessarily watching the performance of the actress who is playing Cersei in the play, because she is good. She is the only real good one in the play, as Arya speaks with her later on and notes. She actually has substance. And like I had spoken with last week, I did have that strong feeling that this was where the House of Black and White and Arya were going to come into conflict. Because again, Arya's list are all people that have done bad things. That's what she has committed herself to. Killing an innocent or someone that hasn't done bad things, basically just because someone paid, you know, that's not Arya's thing. And they played it up nice, really thought that, you know, it was going to go south. It was going to go the bad way, and Arya was going to complete that mission. But of course, at the last moment, knocks the poison drink out of her hand and just points to the other actress and says, watch out for this one. She wants to kill you. All of which is seen by the waif, who quickly heads back to Jaqen and reveals to her, no, just as I said, Arya isn't going to do it. And Jaqen sends the waif off, you know. The waif had promised, you know, if Arya does this, then I get to go take out Arya. And reluctantly, Jaqen agrees. And yeah, I think there's a little downside to him. But does he really think she's going to be successful in taking out Arya? I don't know. As you said, there's a lot of talent in that one. But the best scene in that is when she reaches into that pile of rocks and reveals Needle again. Yeah! That was... I've been waiting for that since Needle got buried. That was just incredible. I mean, just from a fulfillment standpoint of watching the arc of this character. She has now learned skills. She has learned a lot of things. But she is Arya Stark. And she has Needle. But she also knows she's going to have to be hiding. As that last scene shows, she is somewhere in a cave underground with just a candle. Because she knows the House of Black and White is going to send someone after her. And because these are faceless men and women, probably isn't going to see it coming. So she's got to be sure her back is against a wall so she sees all that is coming for her. But this is Arya Stark has returned. She has Needle with her. And I think that she's going to be heading back to Westeros soon to take care of business. Now, of course, as the episode had opened up, we are seeing Bran being dragged off by Mira through the snow. And I don't know how long that she has been dragging Bran behind her. I don't know how long Hodor was able to hold that door closed. It seems like a while. It seems like she has been dragging her for a while. Certainly as she hits the trees, she is exhausted. She is falling down. The wights are in close pursuit. Doesn't really seem to be much hope until the appearance of Uncle Benji. Yeah, Uncle Benji! It was just beautiful, just revealing out. And I'm not sure if he had a little Greek fire on top of that ball and chain there, because it seemed to be rattling, opening thing, flaming all of these wights up, which was just, it was a beautiful scene. Set these on fire, the ones that are more bone, we're going to crush them and disintegrate them. That was all great. And then, of course, the eventual reveal is this is, in fact, Benji Stark, Cold Hands in the book, and who's actually already been introduced and talked about. But basically, Benji is the uncle, Ned's older brother, the uncle that Jon was going to meet, who disappeared way back in Season 1. He was out on a ranging mission and never appeared. And in fact, it was news of Benji which pulled Jon out to get himself killed at the end of last season. That's what they had said. Come on out, we have some news of Benji. And then, so Benji, a very strong background character, now great to see back, who is in fact dead, though. Dead and alive at the same time. As he tells, he was killed by a White Walker, but before the magic could, basically bring him back as a White, the children found him and stopped their magic the same way they had created the White Walkers, which is plunging a shard of dragon glass into his heart. So he is dead and alive at the same time. He's dead, but he is not undead. He's a White. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to classify that. However, he is there, and he is there to help Bran and basically convince him that, Bran, yes, you are the new three-eyed raven, and you have to finish learning your skills, because when the Night King finally finds men, you're going to have to be there, ready for him and fully trained. So basically saving Bran, but we're going to get a nice move back down to Castle Black, which again is going to be, we're getting all of these meetups arranged where all of these forces are coming together, and I think that's what we want. We want these things to develop. We've had so much buildup over so many years. Now let's get it all delivered. Let's get things happening. Let's move this all forward. And speaking of moving forward, we have Khaleesi now leading the Dothraki Hold, the whole Dothraki horde. And she is starting to think about ships. How many ships will I need? I've got the Dothraki Hold, I've got the Unsullied, I've got all the mercenaries. How the sons of just how many ships will we need? To which Daria is, of course, at least 1,000, which is all kind of funny considering last episode that's what Eugen over on the Iron Islands was speaking about. We need 1,000 ships. We need to start building them. And again, I'm kind of hoping that this is, where Theon and his sister are heading out to. But that's down the road. Right now, we just have Khaleesi, who is now, again, planning back for her return to Westeros. And how do you get a horse people on top of ships? For her, it's to take a little walk when she sees some signs, meaning she's got her dragon nearby. And that return was beautiful. Just impressing the heck out of the locals for sure. But that giant, the dragon's gotten only bigger since we last saw him, which is fantastic. And I kept thinking, is she on him? Is she not on him? It's so hard, but he's gotten so big. She's so tiny. She's so tiny on his back. But this speech given of just, we're going to go across beach and we're going to do this and you're going to fulfill what Khal Drogo promised me, for the mother of mountains, and everybody's just, even Daria was like, man, I was impressed when you walked out of the fire, but now you're sitting on top of a dragon. Damn, girl, we're following you anywhere, which is exactly what she wants. So we have that set up now. We've got Khaleesi on top of a dragon, and the little comment about the three. Now that also refers way back to the whole Targaryen prophecy about the three with the dragons and the prince who was promised and all of that. That reflects down in there. So it was, I thought, interesting that she had mentioned out that for the Dothraki we choose 3 people that will be our main. But here I'm going to choose all of you. All of you are with me. But just that little comment, I think, is that foreplay, that foreshadowing there of just what is going to come up. That we've got the 3 dragons, and they're supposed to be the 3 riders. And personally, that's where I think it's her, Jon Snow, and Tyrion. That would be awesome. But again, all that we have to wait. But I think these are just that little foreshadowing statements and notions that are coming forward. So that's it. Wow, what a week. What an episode. A lot of fun, a lot of big stuff happening, a lot of movement forward. Please continue this. Now, only downside is there's only 4 episodes left. This is episode 6. There's only 4 left in this season. So we get through June, and then that's going to be it. So cannot wait to see what happens. And of course, if episode 9 is the big battle as it generally is, where is that going to be? Is that going to be the retaking of Winterfell? That would also be exciting. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But we're going to be right back here next week talking about it. Please press like if you did enjoy this review. Feel free to subscribe. There's a little red button. Let's put it over here. We're going to put a red button right over here to subscribe. Comments in the section below. What did you think? Enjoy the episode? What was your favorite moments? Let's start a little dialogue. Go ahead and let me know, and we will have a chat. Anyway, you can catch me on Twitter. I'm at Darren Jakes. Other than that, we are done for the week. I hope you guys are having a good long weekend and some relaxation, and I will see you guys all next week. Did drop a review for X-Men Apocalypse. If you want to do that, here, I would just throw that up right up here. There you go. You can click onto that. See a review from X-Men Apocalypse. I've got Fox Time with me, as I do with these Marvel movies. She is my partner in crime of movie reviews. So I hope that you guys enjoy that. And that's it. We're all done. Hope you guys are having a good weekend, and I will see you next week. I'm D, and I'm out of here. Y'all take it easy. Bye-bye.